for you.
Oh, gee, thanks, lady.
My name's not Lady, it's Merle.
Oh, I'm Tommy.
Hey, I like your costume, it's one of my favourites.
Yeah, me too. Hey, I've got lots more at home. Can you come and have a look?
Oh, yeah? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, they won't miss me for a bit.
Come on, we'll catch the bus. It won't take long.
She must have come out this way. There she is, getting on that bus.
No!
Take the van!
I told you she'd drop the charges with a little persuasion.
She also threatened to kill you.
If I had $1 for every prisoner that had threatened
I
to do
wouldn't
that.
take the threat too lightly. Connors is tough.
We'll see. The women are going to learn that I mean business.
Yes, well, the governor doesn't want you anywhere near
Bugger
them.
the governor. When a prisoner makes a threat against my life, it's time to pull on the gloves.
She was bawling her eyes out because of what those mongrels did to her. What do you reckon we do something?
Without Maxwell?
Oh, Maxwell probably with them, screw love. We can't let Laurie down. Get on with your lunch. Let's shove it down those bastards' throat. Yeah, I agree with you. Rapist! Rapist! Rapist!
After this. Are you disobeying an order? I've heard that some of you have been circulating vicious rumors directed against my officers. Now, there's no proof that Wilkinson was raped, so I can only assume that you've been collaborating with her to cause trouble.
Oh, no, we're not.
Are you calling me a liar?
I'm calling you a liar, a rapist, and a murderer.
Put that down, Connors.
Stay back, all of you. It's Craven Island.
Stay back. You're being very foolish, Connors.
I'm going to kill you, you bastard.
There's 4 officers in this room and only one of you.
You murdered my kid brother, and you set Laurie up, you animal.
He was trying to escape. I don't know why you're so excited. He was only a junkie. Throw her in the pound. I think that just about takes care of that subject. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
He was deliberately provoking her. That's no excuse for what Connors did, but if he hadn't been there, none of this would have happened.
You wanted to see me, Mrs. Reynolds?
Yes. I should be back on duty.
I suppose you heard what happened at lunchtime?
I gave clear orders that no male officers were to go to the women's section of the prison.
I assumed that applied to my officers, not to me.
Why were you in the dining room?
I'd heard Connors had made threats against me. I believe in being direct with the prisoners and not pussyfooting around.
So you went in and provoked her.
Of course not. The women were all carrying on about this alleged rape. I had to call them to order. Connors attacked me and I defended myself.
That's not what I heard.
Then I'd suggest you speak to all the officers present. I don't like being set up by the officer who couldn't control the women.
That's enough. You can save your story for the minister. He's on his way.
I hardly think that's necessary.
I do. I've had more than enough of you riding roughshod over the women and officers of this prison and undermining me as governor. I have grave doubts about the alibis of your officers last night, and I'm requesting your suspension.
Then for your sake, Mrs. Reynolds, I hope you know what you're doing. You awake?
What do you want?
I just came to see how you were. All the women are worried about you. Looks like there could be some trouble.
I don't want the women to get into any trouble over me.
No, none of us do. But they've got some silly idea that I might have been responsible for what happened. Now, you don't believe that, do you?
I don't know. I don't know who did it.
Well, I think the best thing for all concerned would be for you to tell the truth, don't you? I mean, I've already had a look through your file, and you do have a history of making up stories. You even had to give up your little girl. Ah, yes. I know all about little Zoe.
Now, you could make things a lot easier on yourself and all of your friends if you just tell the truth. I can jog your memory. And we don't want anyone else to get hurt now, do we? Particularly your little girl. No one needs to get hurt. All you have to do is just tell the truth. Do I have your word on that? That's better. Now, maybe you should just go and have a shower.
Why the hell didn't you keep an eye on her?
For the same reason I don't supervise muster or do guard duty. You're the officer in charge, remember? Let's get back to the shopping centre.
No, I've got to report this.
What? You know she didn't escape, she just wandered off.
Well, that's going to look great in my report, isn't it? My prisoners don't have to bother to escape, they just wander off. I'm phoning in.
No, just give me 20 minutes, please, Rodney. Blow the whistle now and everyone will be after her. If Mel gets cornered or frightened, she might go over the edge. You know what that means.
Yes, it means I don't get fired.
It means she'll be weaving baskets in some madhouse. Please, Rodney, just 20 minutes. If we find her, no one ever need know.
All right. 20 minutes.
Oh, look. Looks pretty, doesn't it?
Yep.
Oh, I like it.
Thanks for buying me the mouse.
All right. I didn't buy them. They look real unhappy, so I just took them.
Real? That'll teach that old grump a lesson. I'm gonna call mine Merle after you.
I never had nothing called after me before. I'll call mine Muscles.
Merle and Muscles will save the world.
How come you're allowed to play by yourself?
Everyone does. And Mum doesn't get home till late. So there's nothing else to do but watch TV.
We've got new comics.
Yeah, look, you want to swap?
Oh, yeah, I'd like that.
You know, you're all right for a grown-up.
Wilkinson, you showered.
I had to.
Do you realise what you've done?
I don't care.
But surely Sister Hall told you that
Sister Hall had nothing to do with it.
But you have to have further examinations, and Mrs. Reynolds has called in the minister. Now, you didn't see who did it. There was no obvious evidence of rape. Now, what the hell's wrong with you?
Please, don't go on.
But why? I mean, surely you realise the position you're in, that the governor's in. Now, why?
Because it's hopeless.
That the women have been intimidated by Mr. Craven can be substantiated by Mrs. Pringle. And I have here a report by Mrs. Morris detailing an encounter during which Mr. Craven attempted sexual blackmail.
I'd like a copy of that.
That can be arranged.
I enjoy romantic fiction.
Perhaps you'd like an account of Lorelei Wilkinson's rape. Rita Connors has been severely provoked by Mr. Craven, and there is her allegation of murder, and Mr. Jackson's observations of misconduct whilst at Blackmore. But you'll find that completely detailed in the full report.
Yes, well, I've already addressed these matters.
Finally, I have to add my own experience of Mr. Craven. I find his behaviour antagonistic and inflammatory to the point of posing an extreme security risk.
You must appreciate that coming hot on the heels of the riot, the last thing we need in the department now is this sort of dissension.
What price solidarity?
Can I have your reaction to these charges, Craven?